Sharon Rogers, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wells, Maine. And last night I couldn't go live. Well, I did go live, but not with a project because I forgot my paper trimmer here at home when I was up to the family cabin. So I thought I'd just do a quick little makeup Friday Night Live on Saturday afternoon. So let's get started. All right, I'm going to put this in the holder here. And we can get started. Let's see, just move this out of the way just a little bit. There we go. So I'm going to be using the Scenic Adventure bundle, which is what I featured in this past Tuesday's Tune In Tuesday. It's great, got a great outdoorsy vibe. The dies have all sorts of scenery building kind of dies, mountains and a forest and a meadow. So all sorts of cool things. We're going to be using this die right here. So I might as well just go ahead and let's start with that. We'll cut that out and that way we can use the rest of the time putting things together. So I've got my Stampin' and Cut and Emboss machine, plate 1, 2, and I need a number 3 plate. And then I need some cardstock for this die to go on. And then I need another number 3 plate. And we'll just crank that right through there. All right. And I usually just drop it to make it come out. And then if there's a couple little other ones in there, they usually fall right out as they just did. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put my die back so I don't misplace it. We've got these just little fir trees, and I thought I'm going to be using this paper from the Beautiful Gallery Designer Series paper collection that is part of the Beautiful Gallery suite. By the way, if you missed my live last night, I talked about how there are going to be suite sales next week, beginning June 3rd and going till the end of the month. And you can get suites, buy one, get one 50% off, or you can break up the suites and you can get some of those. So for instance, the Beautiful Gallery suite has 2 stamped die bundles associated with it. So you could get one stamp and die bundle and then get the second at half price. So it doesn't have to be a complete suite. However, you will want to make sure that you only have like price points on your order. So for instance, if you ordered those 2 bundles I just talked about, and then this paper, and then the embellishments that we're going to be using, you're going to find that the 50% off is allocated to the paper and the embellishments, the 2 least priced items. So it's not going to go in order with what you pick. It's going to go by price. The 2 most high priced will be paired with the 2 lowest prices. So keep that in mind when ordering. And if you need help figuring out what you should order, let me know. So I'm going to get out those embellishments that I was just talking about. These are very heavy embellishments, but they're not too thick. And this brush brass really looks very nice on this paper. These are the pressed flower motifs. So it looks like a flower has kind of been pressed into there. All right, so you can see you've got just some beautiful patterns, and I showed these last night. I love this one, just so calm and serene. This one, pretty colors, and just a lot of nice stuff in that. This is going to be very popular, I think. I think this whole suite will be pretty popular. So you want to order, if this is something that you know that you want to order sooner rather than later, because if a suite goes unorderable due to back orders, you probably aren't going to ever get it back in time to take advantage of the sale. We don't, you can't order things that are back ordered. All right, so I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer that I forgot, and I'm going to trim this down. So I've got a base of pecan pie. That's what I'm going to be using for my base. And I'm going to be matting it with a piece of basic beige. And I think what I will do is I'm going to go, instead of 1/4 of an inch less than what I usually do, I'm going to do a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to do 5 inches, 5 inches by 3 3/4. All right. And so that's going to be my mat right there. And then on this one, I'm going to go just a little bit smaller than that. I'm going to go, let's go, and I want to get a lot of the sky, I think, and some of the road. I can probably chop off a little bit of the sky. I'm just eyeballing here. And then I want this, because I'm going landscape, I want this to be about 3 5/8. And then I need to chop off a little bit, because I need this, and I'm going to chop a little bit off each side here, because I want to get the road in. I want to get the house in too. So since my basic piece is 5 inches, I'm going to want this to be 4 7/8. But I'm going to cut a little off here, and I'm going to cut a little off here. 4 7/8 would be right there. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so there's my scene, beautiful just by itself. I can now build this. Oh, I gotta get my glue out. That went with me. Everything went with me except for the paper trimmer. Well, and my phone stand, but I was pretty confident that I could rig something up there, because I've done that before. I even brought lots of different blocks. I was going to design a whole class around the gallery blooms up there. I mean, I know a lot about what I'm going to be doing already, because that's my clubhouse for June. But, and I think what I'll do is I'll put this up on dimensionals. But I didn't want to wait until I got home to do all the heavy work. So I was just going to do it up there. And then I couldn't, because I didn't have my paper trimmer. You ever forget stuff like that? Well, honestly, sometimes I just lose it in my own stamp room. Depends how neat or messy it is. But look, this is just beautiful just the way it is right here. But we're going to add a little bit of something here. So remember these trees that we got. I'm going to just take a piece of scrap in here. I'm going to bring in my mini blending brush. And let's see, let's get out Mossy Meadow, because that's the paper that I had done that with. And I'm going to just blend on. I'm going to make this a little bit darker, because if you see, it's not standing out quite enough for me. But if I were to put some more ink on it and make it darker, then it's going to stand out a lot more. All right, so I'm making those trees a little bit darker, and that's good. Let's see, we put this on here right now, and we've got those trees, and I can hang that over the edge just a little bit. We're going to put that up on dimensionals, and I'm going to just use some of these little baby dimensionals, kind of hide them where I can. One right there, and let's put one right up here. Probably could use another one down there. Oh, I got another little one too. These are my little minis. All right, take the backs off there. And we're just gonna line that right up at the bottom. Have it go off the edge a little bit. And there we have just a really, really pretty front here. And we can choose to put some words on here or not. If I look at the Scenic Adventure, I like this just breathe and take it slow. But I think that's a little bit, and that would be fine on the outside, but I don't really want to interrupt any of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put something on the inside instead. So I need a piece of paper to go on the inside, a piece of cardstock. which I don't have cut because, of course, you know, I didn't bring my paper trimmer north with me. So I'll just cut one now. If I had pre-cut, my husband's like, why didn't you just pre-cut everything before you left? That way you didn't have to bring it. Well, thank you very much, but I like to show how quick and easy it is to do the cards, start to stop. So I'm going to do this 3 3/4 by 5, just like that last one. And I think we need a little bit of, we need something to tie it in on the inside. So I'm going to just bring in one of these trees and we'll stamp it. And see if I can find a block. I only have the big blocks here because I haven't even unpacked my other blocks yet. So let's find my ink pad. Okay, we're going to stamp that right there. Beautiful. And I'll have to clean that later because I haven't unpacked my cleaner either. And then we want that other sentiment, just breathe and take it slow. This would be a great sentiment for somebody who's just recovering from, you know, an illness or some, you know, PT, somebody who needs to just take it easy, don't try to do too much all at once, recover a little bit. Or also somebody that's going through something emotionally difficult. Just breathe, take it slow, it'll be all right. And then you can write a little note in there. So if any of you have popped on live and saw me kind of pop on live and you've been saying hi, hello, I can't see you, I don't have my computer up and running yet. But there is our card. If you wanted to put on some of those embellishments, you could. I don't think I want to because I don't really have a sentiment on here. So I'm just going to leave it just the way it is. Now, if I did want to perk things up a little bit, I could take this beautiful Basic Beige Classic ribbon. It is so thin and supple, it's not going to add any weight to your card at all. It's beautiful. It's really nice ribbon. This is also the ribbon that's going to be featured and given to those that participate in my Clubhouse class. I mean, I could do that. I'm not so sure. I like a little bow. It kind of looks a little weird to me on the tree. Let's see. I might end up going with nothing at all here. Maybe just cut a little bit off and see if I can put this where it makes sense. Does it make sense anywhere? No, it doesn't make sense anywhere there. So, I mean, we could have wrapped that around this corner. Let's see, all sorts of interesting things we could do. No, I'm just going to leave that off. I'm just going to leave it as it is. This is also a great card for, you know, when you need a masculine kind of card where it doesn't have a lot of embellishments either. But that is the card I have for you. Let me just talk to you a second. There's my ceiling. Here I am. Don't forget that today, May 31st, is the very last day that you can get a starter kit deal of deals. So it is for $99 plus shipping. No, not shipping. Shipping's free. $99 plus tax. You get to select $165 worth of merchandise of your choice. Shipping will be included, and you'll get a free paper pumpkin. And the best part of all, you will get at least a 20% 20% discount from now through the end of October. So that's going to cover summer, fall cards, and if you start early enough on your Christmas cards, you'll be able to get supplies for Christmas cards at a discount as well. So if you have any questions, let me know. I would love to have you join the Stamperhood. We have a lot of fun, and there really is no downside to this. but I think you'll want to stick around once you're part of the fun. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you soon, actually tomorrow evening for Scrabby Sunday. See you then.